Hello and welcome to Bespoke Unit. Today we're going to be exploring the Goodyear Welted shoe, how it's constructed, as well as its pros and cons. Hey, my name is Paul Anthony.
And I'm CP.
And today we're looking at the Goodyear Welted shoe. So first off, CP, we're going to talk about the construction method itself.
Okay.
So the Goodyear Welted shoe is actually a 3-layer shoe sandwich. We basically have the outer sole, the welt itself, and then the shoe at the top. So basically what this creates is an easy to resole shoe, as well as a very structurally sound shoe and a waterproof shoe, because you've basically got the welt barrier between the sole itself and the upper, unlike, for example, a Blake stitch shoe. So that's basically the construction method. So, you know, I'm sure we've got a graphic here somewhere, but we've got outsole, welt, and then the actual upper itself. And all this is then basically stitched together, and no special machinery is required. This can and still is done by hand. So you'll see actual guys here. So we've probably got links below on Ascot shoes, where we review the Lazio Vash shoe on bespokeinit.com, and you can actually see pictures within that review there of guys still hand sewing the welt and the shoe and the outsole together. But obviously most commonly these days it's going to be done by machine.
Even done by a machine is a very labor intensive process, and for that reason tends to be on the pricier side.
Yeah, that's definitely so one of the cons.
But I'm jumping ahead, I think. Now.
Yeah, so if we just hit the pros of a Goodyear Welt, it's definitely labor intensive, but that's obviously not a pro. But the pro of the Goodyear is well, mainly it's kind of waterproofness. So this shoe construction method is definitely favoured in Northern Europe historically, in the UK, as we do get a little bit of rain over there. Also the fact that it is easily resolable, and it's cheaper typically to get resoled, and that's probably like two of the leading reasons that people go. And it has had this mind share of being the #1 construction method, as where I definitely subscribe to that, because I've always associated expensive shoes with Goodyear welting. However, now I've learned more about shoes that I'm not 100% convinced that that's necessarily the case, that there are definitely, you know, reasons why you'd want to not go with a Goodyear welted shoe because of some of the cons, which are? Well,
first of all, as I mentioned earlier, it is very expensive. Sometimes may even double the price compared to a Blake stitch
yeah, I think
shoe.
Edmonds has something like a 120 step process, because you're having a last in here, you're building the shoe around it. They are definitely an expensive shoe to make.
Absolutely, but another issue is that because we're looking at here much larger construction, we're looking at also a heavier shoe, which is going to be more tiring for some people that do maybe potentially have foot pain, and it's also going to be slightly less comfortable and takes longer to break in.
Yeah, I think the breaking period is one of the main sticking points for people to get the shoe. I mean, there are some shoes that definitely do have a thin option. So this is Alan Edmonds McGraw loafer, which they've definitely done a nice job. But I'd say, you know, when you're getting up to some more boots, and I actually do really favour the Goodyear inner boot because of its waterproof nature.
Sure, yeah.
You know, living here in the northeast of the USA, we do get a lot of snow and slush in the winter. So, you know, if I'm up in New York on meetings and I'm walking between meetings, this is definitely something, you know, I still want that, you know, nice silhouette, that well-constructed shoe, but I also want to make sure that my foot is not going to be soaking wet all day. And this actually features on this one a day-night sole, even with a traditional, you know, Goodyear construction. So that's got some great grip. Then we obviously have the 1,000 mile boot here, obviously by Wolverine, classic shoe, or classic boot, sorry, cult following, and that's obviously still constructed with a Goodyear method.
Same design
as well.
since 1914, and they continue to produce it today. Originally a work boot, but as sort of style has changed,
kind of workwear vibe.
Yeah, but it's now kind of transitioned into a more formal style because it's been sort of accepted since things have got a little bit more casual, and it's still a traditional heritage shoe, boot rather.
Yeah.
Whereas the Alan Edmonds Sullivan Street is, in terms of formality, quite an interesting one. But you can learn more about that in our style guides, and we've got guides to the best dress boots in the description below.
Yeah, and you can definitely visit bespokeinit.com/shoes for over, I believe, around 200 pages of shoe style guides, shoe buying guides, brand guides, where we cover Alan Edmonds, Wolverine, Beckett Simon, etc. As for price points, you're going to be looking at probably north of $350-$400 to get into a Goodyear welted shoe.
And that's for boots, so you're closer to the 400-500
plus. So it's definitely an investment. So, you know, high level, I'd probably say that you don't want to go. I mean, actually, look at the video below where we talk about pros and cons of Blake versus Goodyear. So, you know, just kind of obviously, and the price goes up from there. If you're going like bespoke, custom, made to measure, then you're obviously going to pay many multiples of that. But this is probably the construction method that they're going to use. So, again, just a high level recap: pros are easily resolable and waterproof. Cons are probably a longer breaking period because you've got the triple leather sandwich. Also, they're more expensive and
heavier.
Basically heavier as well. Yeah, so again, we don't believe that they are superior. We just think it's a different option for you guys, but typically higher level quality shoes are going to be made from this method. So, which is obviously going to dictate the leather uppers they're going to use, and it all kind of cascades through the quality of the shoe.
Yeah.
So, with that huge mouthful, we always welcome comments and questions below in the section, whether you have your favorite Goodyear welted shoe provider, whether you think Goodyear welting is worth the additional price point.
It'll be interesting to see what other people think about this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some people, I was definitely in the Goodyear camp, just because again, I had that from growing up. Always get Goodyear welted shoes, whether it was churches that my dad wore, or when I came to the US, but everyone just says get your Allen Edmonds, your Oldens, you know. But, you know, knowing more and more about shoes, and definitely maybe looking at seasonality, maybe this is a good option for a winter boot, a Blake's good for a summer shoe. You know, there's definitely pros and cons to both construction methods and obviously people's budgetary requirements. But anyway, those sort of discussions can happen in the comment section and on the other videos, where we'll put the top link below will be the pros and cons of Blake versus Goodyear shoes. Please like this video if you did like this video, as well as subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification button, because we're releasing much more content, not only around shoes but also cigars, whiskey, watches, suits and more. With all of that being said, my name's Paul Anthony.
I'm CP.
And we'll see you next time.
Take care.